Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Keystone Virtual Exploration. This program is a partnership between PACAC and StriveScan for all Pennsylvania students. My name is Liz Frassini. I'm a college counselor at Wyoming Seminary in Kingston, PA, and I'm also the chair of the College Fairs Committee for PACAC. Before we get started, I would like to run through a few housekeeping tips for today's session. If you have questions for the presenters, please enter them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Your camera and microphone will be off for the duration of the presentation, so the panelists can't see or hear you, and the best way to communicate with them is through that Q&A feature. You signed up for today's session at the PACAC website, and we have additional sessions through November 6th for our program, so we encourage you to visit additional sessions that you're interested in viewing. Also, there will be a recording of this session and all future sessions on the PACAC website as well. The best place to go for both session registration and recordings is www.pacac.org/virtual. And now I will turn it over to Cairn University.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. I will be sharing my screen to start the presentation. Okay, so again, I said welcome, everyone. This is Cairn University, and what I'll be talking to you about more is what we provide for you and kind of looking at what we're going to be giving to you as a student experience. So again, my name is Martha Holland. I've been an admissions counselor for about 2.5 years now at Cairn University. I'm originally from New York, but I found this school about 2.5 hours away. So I was like, I definitely want to go there and check it out. And this is where the Lord brought me. But I am an alumni of the university. So if you guys have any questions about the student life side or anything like that, I would be more than happy to answer them at the end. But pretty much what you will be expecting today is I'm going to be introducing you to myself, also a student worker and a current student that we have here. Her name is Angela. She will be joining us in a little bit. I'm also going to be introducing you to my husband, who works as a resident director in student life here at Cairn. So he'll be talking to you more about the student experience. And then just talking to you about what your time here will look like, as a student. I'm also going to be introducing you to our mission. That's pretty much the center of everything we do here at Cairn. It's who we are and what we do, and we strive for our students to not only look at that on the walls, but also to follow it as well. I'm also going to be giving you an overview of the admissions process, so going over the application and kind of some next steps to get you prepared. I'm going to be talking to you about campus life aspects. And then at the end, like I said earlier, I will leave some time for questions as well. I guess some questions that I came up with that you could be thinking of is, what is it like being a student here at Cairn? Will my professor know me by name, which we'll get more into a little bit later? Will I feel safe on Cairn's campus? I know for parents, that is a big question that they have when they come to visit. And then how will Cairn prepare me for graduation and beyond? So pretty much what you'll be expecting after this presentation is I will be following up with you in regards to seeing how your college search is going, seeing if you have any questions, and just your overall interest in Cairn. I'll also send you an application fee waiver code that we do have. So I will get that to you a little bit later. And then, like I said, kind of just some next steps for you to be able to complete your application either in the next couple of days or anything like that. So again, feel free to ask me any questions though. So first I'm going to talk about our mission statement. You can kind of see it there, but we kind of have a slogan here at Cairn. It's just right. So you'll probably hear me say that a few times, but we want something that is just the right fit for you, as well as just the right size when it comes to a college. So for our mission, we want a right mission, which is rooted in Christ and ready for what's next. When introducing people to Cairn, that's pretty much the first thing we begin with while they're on their tour is the mission statement, because it is who we are. Like I said earlier, it's who we are and what we do. And we want our students to be able to exemplify and carry that out as well. It's nice because at Cairn, you don't have to choose between a biblical foundation and academic excellence. You do have to have 30 credits of Bible and theology. It's pretty much integrated into every program that we have here. So whether you decide to study education, business, pre-med, it's pretty much wrapped up into one so that you'll be receiving a biblical education that prepares you both personally as well as professionally. So I'm just kind of break down some of the elements of our mission. But the first part says Cairn University exists to educate students to serve Christ in the church, society, and the world. Obviously, we are always mentoring our students and we want them to be able to serve in multiple capacities. We want them to be biblically minded. So like I said earlier, 30 credits of Bible and theology are required no matter what degree or program that you are taking here at Cairn. It is part of our dedicated core. So we want our students to obviously be biblically minded. The next part is well educated. Obviously, this is a college. You go here to get academics as well as an education. And then professionally competent, we want internship opportunities. We also provide professional development opportunities both on and off campus. The last thing is character. It's not enough for our students to just be competent, but we also train up our students to not only reflect God in their knowledge, but in also your attitudes, your actions, how you live life. So that is one of our main things that we always share with our students. The next thing that I'm going to be talking about is the application process. We are rolling admissions, so we are always taking applications. And then I don't know if you guys have gone to our website or not, but you can either apply there or you can apply through Common App as well. Typically, we do require you to have your SAT or ACT scores, but due to COVID, obviously this year we are in fact test optional. If some of you don't know what that means, this just means that we can either take your test scores if you've taken them, or if you choose not to do so, that's fine as well. You could still be accepted to Cairn. Myself and the other counselors do receive applications. We do review them, and something that I always tell my students is that we look at them with the whole individual in mind. Obviously, grades are important. You're coming here for academics and education, but I do tell my students we look highly at your essay part that we do require. It's a 500-word minimum, pretty much talking about your personal testimony with the Lord and how he's been working in your life and throughout your life. But that's something that is important to us because we want to make sure that you are mission fit. So even if you don't have the best grades, we do again look at you as a whole person. So I would definitely encourage you to still apply and see what happens. Okay, the next thing that I will be covering is the financial aid portion. So you can see here tuition full-time, $29,553 for the cost of attendance. That is not including room and board as well as additional costs. But pretty much what I'm going to tell you is that something important in regards to financial aid is obviously the big role that finances play. But I also tell students an important aspect also is the value of an education when it comes to finances, if it's going to be worth the amount that you're paying for it. Me personally, I had help from my parents my first year here at Cairn, but my sophomore, junior, senior years, I was pretty much on my own when it came to paying for my own college. So I wanted to find somewhere that was both affordable for me and also somewhere where I knew it was worth the cost, kind of comparing apples to apples with different schools. But yeah, so some current major base scholarships that we do offer right now is social work. You could get up to $4,000 from that. We have one for bio students, which is you can also get up to $4,000. And then we also have a music scholarship. That's based on when you audition, it's based on that and how they do that. And then over on the right side, it kind of lists some of the merit scholarships and grants. So right now we are actually in the middle of reframing that and updating it because we want our students who haven't taken the SAT or ACTs to have a fair play with scholarshiping. So we are dating the merit scholarships and grants. So right now you can get up to 17,000, but again, that will be increasing and changing in the next couple of weeks. Some additional scholarships that you could see on the right side. I would definitely check out Christian Workers Scholarship, or Church Matching Scholarship. Like I said, the major-based scholarships, and then we also have an honor scholarship as well. So I would definitely take a look at that page if you're interested in what kind of scholarshiping we do offer in-house. We also offer out-house scholarships that we do put on our site as well if you're interested in that. And then the last thing that I'm going to mention is the federal work study. So this is for students who need campus employment opportunities. There's a ton of opportunities to work on campus. When I was a student, I worked at like 5 different areas throughout the school and departments. That was really helpful for me because again, I was paying for my own college. So being able to have kind of the first pick of jobs was really important to me. And then last but not least, obviously I always encourage my students to fill out the FAFSA. I know a lot of times I've had students and parents say, well, we don't know if we'll get anything from it. And then they fill it out and they're like, okay, we got way more than we thought. So I always tell students I would definitely fill that out. We do have a FAFSA code. It's 003351. If you need that at the end, I can give that to you, but that pretty much will guarantee them to send it straight to our school, so we have it on file. So the next part is I'm going to introduce one of our student workers and current student. Her name is Angela. I'll kind of let her do her own intro, but she's going to be talking to you more about her experience here at Cairn, what she loves about it here, why she chose here, and a little bit about her athletic experience here as well.
Cool. So yeah, my name is Angela. So I'm in the business administration program. I'm doing a 5-year dual level program. So I'm going to be getting my master's as well, which is a really cool offering that Cairn has. So if that looks like something that would interest you, I definitely encourage checking that out. I'm also minoring in politics just because I chose to do something that's a little bit outside my program, which is also really highly recommended by the professors. If you have another interest, you can minor in that. So yeah, I'm a senior this year, but I'll be a super senior next year. So I still have quite a bit of time at Cairn left. And I'm an international student from Kenya. And so that kind of transitioned into student groups and what is there to do around campus, which is a lot of the questions that students ask when they're looking into colleges, like what is there to do outside of class, and what's the student experience like. So I'm thankful that I got to be so involved really quickly with Cairn. So with different student groups like the one you see here with the picture, that's Mukapa, which is a club for missionary kids and international students, but also has students who are just interested in having a global perspective and all that. And so that's been a really cool club I've gotten to be involved in on campus, but there's so many other club opportunities, I'd say for almost any interest that you have. So whether you're looking into education, there's Chi Beta Sigma, that's for social work, but Alpha Chi Epsilon, I think that's for education. But anyway, depending on your interest, not even academic, but I think there's a club that goes mountain climbing. So just depending on your interest, there's different clubs and activities around campus. And I think those will kind of be covered a little bit later on. But it's just cool to get involved that way with different student groups and kind of find your people that way in college. So that's been something super cool to me. So I'm going to talk about what classrooms look like here as well as professors. Just kind of a little backstory for me. I was in Kenya before I came to Cairn, and one of the things that I always say really drew me to Cairn was that I had professors reaching out to me before I even arrived at the school. So I had a professor who was at a conference in Kenya with my mom, and they connected, and I had coffee with him. And just getting to talk to him and hear him talk about the school and have him kind of assure me and my mom especially that Cairn was a good fit, and that like I'd be taken care of here. It's not somewhere I'd be going and like, oh, where am I? I know nobody here. I won't be okay. And that's something that really translated, because the first year I came here, there were people constantly reaching out to me. Do you need anything? Do you need to go to the store? So for those of you who are just scared of like leaving home, I say like Cairn is really like a second home, and it becomes a second home to all our students, regardless of where you come from, even if you're just 10 minutes away from here. This really does become a community that you connect in, and that translates into the classrooms, because in your classes, it's not just you go in and you leave, and you don't get much interaction with your professor outside of class. Here, professors are really invested in students, and they really want to see you grow as a person. I've gotten to develop really good relationships with my teachers here as well. Classrooms tend to be smaller, so most of your classes will have about like 12 to 20 people in them, ranging. So your first year, of course, because those are more like gen ed classes, those ones tend to be a little larger. But as you get more specified in your major, for instance, like I'm doing business and politics minor, so I take a class like counterterrorism, and that class had like 6 people. And I think the high school me would have been really scared of like 6 people in a class, but now I'm like, oh yeah, 6 people in a class, like that's great, because like you get to know the teacher, you get to know your classmates, you really build relationships. And that's something I think that's super unique to Cairn, because your teachers become your friends, they become your advisors and your mentors, and they really want to see you excel, not just in the classroom, outside the classroom in terms of your career, setting you up with internships, and making sure that like you'll be prepared to go out into the world once you go through our school. So that's just something that I really enjoyed about Cairn, and the discussion-based types of classrooms, regardless of major. You just get that individualized attention. You get to just talk to your classmates, get to know them. And for those of you who go to smaller schools, you might relate more to this. And a lot of people who go to bigger public schools are also very drawn to this idea and end up really enjoying it once they're here. So I'm also a student athlete. So the next slide kind of talks about the athletic offerings we have here. You can see the sports that we offer. I'm on the cross country team, and I did it my freshman year, then I stopped doing it, and I've rejoined it this year. And I really, really enjoyed what they've done with the athletic program at Cairn, because I've kind of seen it transition in the past 3 years. So like, for instance, I can talk about cross country because that's what I do. It's very community based. It's not just a ton of people who come together and run. For instance, like on Wednesdays, we have integrated conversations where, you know, we get to talk to our coach and we have meaningful conversations about what is going on in society, what's going on in community. So for athletes, this really does become a community, a different type of family within the Cairn community. Just people who will be there for you, and you know that you can carry those relationships with you past just the time you are in that team. So we are a D3 school. We're involved in CSAC, and we do offer a lot of women and men's sports. Some of them are combined, like cross country, but there's also intramural opportunities. So if you don't want to commit to having a specific like athletics program, you can do intramurals, and sometimes there's like pickup soccer games and things like that. So there's just very many opportunities to stay active within the Cairn community. So if you're interested in athletics at all, our coaches are also super willing to reach out to you and talk to you and kind of see where you are on your athletic journey and if you would be a good fit for the athletic program you're interested in at Cairn. But yeah, I hope that was helpful.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Angela. I don't know if she's going to be staying on or signing off, but if you have any other additional questions for her, since she is a student, and I know that is important to kind of get that student aspect, you can send them to me and I will have her call you and answer any of those additional questions. But kind of what Angela was saying, I'm going to go to the next athletics page and then kind of wrap up what she was talking about. But as you can see on the screen, there's 2 different students that have talked about what their experiences has been like being an athlete here at Cairn. But just as our faculty students are, intentional and kind of what Angela was saying, how they care about you. You're not just a number, but you're also a name and a face. The fact that our coaches are also committed to the spiritual and character development of our athletes is one of the big things that I think is awesome and something that I loved hearing more about. But these are just two examples of students who were deeply transformed by their experience within the athletics that they were doing. I know Callie did women's volleyball, and then Brad is in men's tennis. It's also been cool to see so many of our teams receiving conference awards. I know Angela briefly mentioned about CSACs, but just the fact that they've been receiving conference awards, not just for season wins, but also for character and academic success is something that we do here. But yeah, it's a great reflection of, the heart of our students and how Cairn encourages students to, like I said earlier, live out that biblical mission of Cairn in every area of their lives, including sports as well. Okay, next thing that I'm going to be talking about is our location. So like I was kind of saying, just right slogan, we want it to be a right place and right fit. So here at Cairn, we offer big city opportunities right nearby, but we also are a small town community. So I'll start by describing where Cairn is located. Cairn's campus is located in the suburban area right outside of Philadelphia. It's about a half hour from New York City and about 2.5 hours from Washington, D.C. However, our campus is in a quiet neighborhood with lots of trees and just places to be able to sit outside. We do even have a pond here that a lot of our students come to either fish. I used to hammock there with my friends as a student, or even to have lunch with friends or even a professor. It's also a great location because we are, like I said earlier, we're a short train ride from Philly, about 40 minutes away. But that's where a lot of our students actually end up going to, enjoy food, art, sports, as well as I know for a lot of our students, it's a good opportunity for mission and job opportunities as well. But in order for us to help acclimate our students who may not be used to the environment that they're in, we do have some tours for them every year, other than this year because of COVID. We usually go into Philadelphia and we take our students on that tour to be able to see the surrounding areas. And also we do take them to events as well. So a lot of the art events or music events, we will take our students at too. So the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is more of the student life side. I'm actually going to be introducing you to my husband. His name is Billy Holland, and he is a resident director here at Cairn University. He's going to talk to you more about what student life has to offer and some of the resources that you guys will be able to utilize as a student.
Hey everybody, as Martha mentioned, I am a resident director here at Cairn University. So that means I live in the residence hall with the students. I am the resident director of Heritage Hall. I was a student here with Martha, and then I have been working here for 4 years now. I have done both event planning and a resident director here. So two resources I want to talk to you guys about are the Career Center and the Academic Resource Center. Both are really helpful and successful programs we have here at Cairn. The first one is the Career Center. This is just a place that you can go to really early on in your time here. And it's something that you get to help build resume. It's something that they're going to help you connect with jobs. There are also people that you can talk to kind of help find out what you want to do for your career. So you might be majoring in business. What does that mean? What is your plan for that? You might be majoring in social work. But what are things that you can do with social work? What are avenues and options for you? So not only do they do things like resume building, help you build a network of people that you can get in contact with. We have a lot of alumni, a lot of different places that they have contacts with, but they also help you get direction in what you're hoping to do. The other resource I'm talking about is the Academic Resource Center. This is something that we have in place to help students academically. It is something that has been really successful and really helpful for a lot of students here. So they have lots of different resources, whether it's the writing lab, the math lab. We have a time management session they do. They also provide mentors for certain students that get to just walk alongside of you as you kind of enter college and help you kind of make sure that you have all the resources and help that you need in all your classes. I know the writing lab for me has been something that was really helpful when I was a student, and also I'm currently a grad student, and it's been extremely helpful. One of my good friends was an honor student here, and he actually went to the writing lab quite often because it helped him bring his writing not just from an A minus or A work, but to A plus work and get some really solid grades. It helped build his vocabulary, build his skills for writing. Um, and so it's definitely two great resources that are free for all students, and they're just accessible for everyone to use. The next thing I'm gonna be talking to you is about Chapel. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention about student resources is that the ARC also provides a lot of disability help. So we have a director, Erica Potts, who's directly oversees anything with students with disabilities, whether that's ADHD, whether that's anxiety, dyslexia, anything like that, or others. She will help you and get you accommodations, work with your professors, work with you to make sure you have everything that you need. The next thing I want to talk to you about is Chapel. It is a big part of what it means to be a Cairn student. We have Chapel every Monday and Friday, and sometimes Wednesday at 10:50. We require students to attend about 70%, but a lot of our students attend far more than that because it's just a really big part of what we do here. It's a time to stop teaching and to stop, theology and a lot of things you do in class, and just kind of grow spiritually. Chapel always begins with scripture reading and worship from all different types of cultures and different backgrounds and different styles. Sometimes it's student led, sometimes it's worship band led, sometimes worship teams from churches that come in. And it's very unique and a diverse type of worship styles, which is always interesting for me. I grew up in a very contemporary Christian background. And so when we every so often sang hymns, I thought that was a little odd at first, but through my years, I actually enjoyed more and more singing hymns. Also, gospel style worship, which I had never experienced before coming to Cairn, was something I really enjoyed by my time I graduated. After some worship, we always have a speaker. The majority of the time, our speakers are coming from outside the university. They're coming from local churches, but a lot of times they are our dean of school of divinity or different professors, different staff members. And our president always does a series that is always phenomenal. And I think he's able to set the tone for the university every year. Every semester, he's kind of guiding what the student experience is in a lot of ways, because he's speaking to them 6-7 times a semester in Chapel specifically. Again, for COVID, Chapel looks a little bit differently. We are not requiring it because we don't want to pack everyone into one room, but it is every Monday at 10:50. And it's actually live streamed on our Facebook. So if you guys want a sneak peek on what Chapel does look like, feel free to jump on our Facebook or Cairn website to live stream it and to see what kind of things we're doing, what we're talking about. And you get to see the room as you see in the slide here. And then always you're able to go on the link below, and that's all of our chapels recorded, and you can go back and listen to some cool ones. I recommend going back and listening to some of our presidents. He has some great chapel sessions. Next, I want to talk to you about residence halls. This is something that I really thrive in, something I really enjoy. It's something that I work in. So this is part of the student experience. I think it's a really great part of the student experience. As an RD, we talk about residence life being co-curricular because you're learning just as much in the residence site as you are in the classroom. So you might be learning different theological concepts, or you're learning about social work or business ideas. And what does that mean and how do I apply it to my life? You're able to wrestle with these things in the residence halls every day. On top of that, you're able to make some lifelong friends. At my wedding, all my groomsmen were actually guys that I was roomed next to or with my freshman year. We all met because we roomed together. And so you're able to meet all different kinds of people, make lifelong friends in your building, in your halls. So we have 2 residence halls. We have Heritage and we have Manor. The one you see pictured here is actually a great room in our Heritage Hall. And it's a large room where it's a lot of people come together, hang out, spend time together. And then off that room, we have 6 different halls, 3 guys' halls and 3 girls' halls. And so they are separate, and then you can go and you can hang out in your room. be with your friends, as you kind of see in the right picture. And then you're able to go out and cigarette room and spend some time there. So that's Heritage Hall. And then we have Manor, which are 5 buildings up on campus, right near the music building and right near our art studios. And so we have a lot of students in music and art who live up there. There's also some kitchens in those buildings. So students that really enjoy cooking for themselves tend to live up there because they're able to make some really fun meals. A lot of our international students like to live up there because they make some traditional dishes from their home, which is always fun to go and have dinner with them and try some of their food. But again, there are things that you're learning in the residence hall that you just really can't learn anywhere else. Things like how to interact with a roommate, how to get ready for class, take care of yourself. It really helps you get prepared for the next stage of life. And another big aspect of living on campus is the RAs. So every wing and building has 2 RAs, and they are here just simply to help make your experience better. So I lead a team of 13 RAs. And again, they're students who just have leadership abilities, are strong spiritually, and they just kind of help guide the campus. They're here. So if you need help plunging in toilet, or you need help finding toilet paper, or if you need someone to talk to after a really tough day, the RAs are there to help out and be a resource to you. And again, each resident site has an RD. So I am down at Heritage, and then I have a co-RD named Abby who lives up at Manor. And we're here just to help your experience be better. I've done things like drive a student to a hospital when they broke their leg, and I've done things as small as killing a bug that was quite large in a girl's room. So we're here just to help out and make your experience better. Martha, who you met earlier, loves to bake for our students, and we'll walk around the building giving out snacks. She actually baked some cookies to give out tonight, so we'll be doing that. So again, I always like to encourage everyone, if you can, to live in a residence hall. We call them residence halls because it's not where you just sleep and go back to class, but it's where you reside. It's where you live. It's where you grow. It's where you make some lifelong memories. In addition to the residence halls, there's lots of programs that go on campus. So we have a team of students and a staff member who just do nothing but plan events for students. It's a really fun program. They do lots of different things, like we have a clue night every year in Heritage Hall where you walk around and you have to try to figure out who done it. We just had a Jaws drive-in movie. So we all emptied a parking lot. We set up a big screen, and they all turned in the radios and drove up, and that was a lot of fun. We also have some big events like our yearly gala. And so that's a formal event at the end of the year that we do. And little things like the Highlander Games, which is a really big competitive thing about in early January. And we do lots of fun things like Augustivus during freshman orientation that you'll be able to experience if you come. It's a yearly tradition that everyone really, really enjoys. Something I've planned multiple times, and I think it's one of our best traditions here. And then we have things, small scales going on in the hall. So your RA might be planning a pumpkin picking event. 2 of my guy RAs are actually taking the pumpkins that the girls picked, and they're doing a pumpkin smashing contest. So they're going behind the building and smashing pumpkins. And then they're doing things like they are planning Bible studies. And so there's Bible studies and different meetings throughout the hall, so you can kind of find people and get connected. So we want to make sure that you have all the resources you have to both have a good time here, do well in your studies, and also grow spiritually. So thanks. I'm going to bring Martha back in.
Okay, thank you so much, Billy, for covering some of the student life. But so the next thing that we're just going to be doing is kind of closing out on Experience Cairn. So if you guys have any questions at all about Cairn, about next steps, or about anything else, I'd be more than happy to assist with that. I know that we did cover a lot of ground in this, but I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions at all. I did want to also give some next steps, and then we can kind of see if anyone has any questions for us. But so I will be your admissions counselor, and I'll pretty much be working with you to follow up with you, see about your interest in Cairn, if that's something that you are interested in. A good next step, if you do think that Cairn might be a good fit for you, is to start your application. Even if you just fill out some of it, it only takes about 15 minutes to complete. You can find the online app on our website, which is cairn.edu/apply, or you can go on to Common App as well, and they can send it to us through that. Again, it takes about 15 minutes to complete, plus some time to complete that essay, which is the 500-word minimum one. But yeah, thank you all so much for your time and for listening more about Cairn. I would love to be able to connect with you and either schedule a phone call with you just to kind of get to know you a little bit better, or if you want to shoot me an email, that's totally fine as well. I will have some of my contact information on the last part. But pretty much, I'm just going to open up the floor if anyone has any questions. And again, if you don't, that's totally fine, but thank you so much for attending our session. And then here's my contact information if you have any questions at all. So I'll give you about a minute or two to see if you guys have any questions. Okay, so I didn't get any questions, which is fine. But again, just feel free to email me or give me a call, whichever. But yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. And again, feel free to ask me any questions. And then I think Liz is going to close us out with our session.
Thank you so much. This was a great presentation from Cairn University, and we appreciate the attendees joining us today for this session. There will be a quick survey at the end of the webinar, so if you could please complete that. It's about 4 questions, and we'd appreciate your feedback. Also, a reminder that if you'd like to sign up for additional sessions through November 6th or view recordings of this session or any others, please visit our website at www.pacac.org/virtual. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.